The latest report from Nebraska's National Agricultural Statistics Service says the third cutting of alfalfa in the state is 59% complete. The crop is rated 77% good to excellent. At this week's Nebraska Grazing Conference, we talked with Nebraska Extension's Rick Rasby about why livestock producers might want to sample hay and grasses before feeding them.
We've had a pretty good hay crop, and one of the challenges I think early on in the hay season was all the moisture we received in May, and so it's kind of difficult to get hay up at that time. But I think about, as you think about what's coming up next, how are you going to put together a feeding program for the cow herd? If you don't have all the grazing opportunities that you'd like, you got to fall back to harvested forages. And so having a good handle on what you have in that stackyard would be pretty important.
Tell me why it's important, why there could be problem areas there.
Well, the thing is that we had a pretty good growing season, except for a little bit of a challenge there early on. And so, some of that hay is going to be different in regards to quality, probably a little bit more mature. And so, as you think about how you might sample alfalfa, first cutting separate from second, third, and fourth. And then we're still putting up some grass hay, but so grass hay put up this time of year is probably going to be more mature. It will be more mature and lower in quality. And so if you're going to sample grass hays in Nebraska, probably sample early cut versus late cut so you get a handle on protein and energy.
Yeah, what are you looking for in that sample?
Yeah, that's a real good question. And the thing is to make sure you get a good sample, because the results you get are only a result of taking a good sample and representative sample. And so make sure that the samples that you take with a forage probe. Grab sample's not going to work real good, okay? And so a forage probe, and most extension offices have a forage probe. And so use that and then follow the instructions in regards to where you're going to send that sample and how you might package it. But the thing I would test for would be moisture for sure, and then protein and energy in the form of TDN. And then, if you think you have a mineral problem, I'd sure check for minerals, but usually NIR will give you calcium and phosphorus, so that works out pretty good.
How do you interpret and use those results then?
Yeah, and I think that's important. Once you get the results, and how do you use the results? And so they'll give you two different ways that's going to be delivered to you. As fed, that means moisture in it, or dry matter. And so all the nutrient requirements for beef cattle are on a dry matter basis. So you're going to look at the dry matter component. And then if you're not real good at putting together rations, there's a lot of extension educators that can help you do that. And so, and they really feel comfortable with that. And so that'd be an opportunity if you really want to take a look at how to put together some rations.